Okay, welcome to the second assignment video. What we're going to be doing is building a mobile application that displays an RSS feed, and we'll be using the Lifehacker.com RSS feed to build this app. So what I've done first is go to the instructions at ITM 387e.info and clicked on the second assignment. So you can either follow along with this if you have like two monitors. I printed out the instructions so I can refer to them while making this video. So what I've done is logged in to appri.io with my username and password, and I'm at the menu screen now. From the last video, we went ahead and took the warehouse app and converted it into our assignments app. This was going to showcase all of our assignments. What I want to do now is open this app. And I'm going to expand the pages. The start page is our home page. I'm going to expand the pages. And what I want to do first is create a new page. Now, the instructions say we have to create a new app, but because we're housing multiple apps on this one project using different pages, instead of creating a new app, I'm going to create a new page. So go to Create New Page, and I'm going to title it the name of this app, which is Lifehacker RSS. I'll click Create. And what I'll do is create the app first, and then save along the way, and then at the very end I'll link it back to the home page, and then we'll be able to test it that way. So, following the instructions, one moment. Okay, we're in project mode. Okay, first what we're going to do is build the mobile user interface. So we click on the header section right here, where it says caption, and in the properties we're going to change the label to Lifehacker RSS. Next, we're going to leave all the defaults, and we can leave the header as mobile header. What we need to do is locate the grid component. So we'll scroll down. Here's a grid component. We're going to drag and drop it into the design part. It's going to look like this. And by default, the grid has 2 rows and 2 columns. What we want to do is make a design with 3 rows and 1 column. To do this, we select the grid component. As you can see up here in the breadcrumbs, it's selected because it's grayed out and there's a red box around it. We go over to the right, the properties grid, and we want to make 3 rows, so we increase this and apply, and that makes 3 rows, and we want 1 column, so we apply that. So there's 3 rows and 1 column. Select the grid component. Okay. Click Save. the next thing we need to do is add one link component from the palette, one label component, and one HTML component. So first we're going to drag and drop a link component right over here into the grid, the first cell in the grid. And then a label component in the second row. And HTML component into the third row. Now what we have to do is make it easier to map the components to the service by renaming them. So first we're going to select the link component by clicking in here and set its name and properties to link. So right over here, the name, we want to set it to link. So I'm just going to delete that and type in link. And for the label component, we want to set the name as follows. According to the instructions, label component is pub date, so PUB DATE. And the HTML component, we need to click on the HTML box right here and make a few changes. If you look at the properties, the instructions say the type is HTML, the name we leave as HTML8, or in this case it's 11, and we change the dimensions to, we delete this one, 100%, and this one also to 100%. We also change the margins to 0. And the class name is what we need to change to appri-html. Okay, good. We can save. It says at this point you can also click test to run the app in the browser. You'll just see the labels, but you can use this feature to test your app at any point. Now, since we haven't hooked it up, by default when I test the app, it's going to go to our home page with all the assignments, and I haven't hooked that up yet. So we're following the instructions, basically verbatim. So I'll go ahead and go through the app and then test it, link it, and then test it at the very end, and it should be fine. Okay, the next thing we have to do is define the RSS service. Go to project view, which is what we're in, and then we have to select create new and service. Service name, we want to enter Lifehacker RSS, so put our cursor here and we'll delete REST service and type in Lifehacker RSS, and then click create service, and the service editor will open up. So we leave all the defaults, but you see this URL space, it's blank. We need to type in http:// feeds.gawker.com / Lifehacker / full. Okay, so that's http:// feeds dot gawker dot com /lifehacker /full. And then for response data type, we want to set to XML. And to use the app-read.io proxy, follow these steps. So I'm going to save this. And what I have to do is close the app now. So after you save, go to close, and then we're going to have to create a new proxy. So this will close the app and take you back to the main menu page. We want to go to Secure Proxy right here and click it. Then once it's open, we want to create a new proxy. See, looks like I already created this. So what you would do is just create. I didn't delete this. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can delete it really fast. So I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, so what I had to do was delete my old proxy. I basically clicked on it and it took me to an option to delete it. So now what I'm going to do is create a new proxy. Click create new proxy and then just type the name in. Lifehacker proxy. And then click create. Okay, so that's good. We leave all the default settings and then we switch back to the app. And then we open it. Okay, so now we go to the project. Oh, we're right here. We're at the settings of our Lifehacker RSS service. And then we select Lifehacker proxy from the drop-down menu over here. So we click that, and it says use app-read.io proxy. Okay, so it says in the instructions you can uncheck this, but if you do, I've tried that and the app doesn't work. So it's important to leave this checked, basically. So before we use the service on the page, we can test it. We open the Test tab and click Test. As you can see, there's a bunch of code here. Not sure what it means, but according to instructions, this is what it looks like when it works. It says the service doesn't have any input parameters, but we need to define output parameters based on this response. Simply click Import as Response. It says service response created successfully. And we want to open the response tab. to see the service response after opening the RSS node. So this is exactly how it's supposed to look. And what we have to do next is bind or map the service to the page. So to do this, we open the start screen, which in this case is our Lifehacker RSS page. And switch to data view. What we're going to do is add a data source. We want to select type service and select Lifehacker RSS service and click add. Okay. This is going to be the title of it, REST Service 1. Now we need to map the service. We have to focus on before send mapping. So here's before send mapping. And we want to make sure up here that page is checked. Okay, the service request area is on the left side. There's nothing listed there since we didn't define any request parameters. Okay, so we just leave this apparently. Save and return. It says we need to create output mappings. Click success mapping. So success mapping, click that. And service response over here is checked, and page is checked on this side. Perfect. We want to expand the service output side, which is the left side, by clicking expand all. And we do the same thing on this side. Now we're going to create the mapping. The first thing we want to do is we want to locate the item over here with the hard brackets and the I inside. So right here, below the item, it's item hard brackets I. We want to connect that to the mobile grid. Right here. So in this case, it's mobile grid 2, and this has our link and our URL and publication date in it. So we just click on it and drag and drop to mobile grid 2, and it creates a mapping. And then to finish, we have to do the same for the title, which is right here, right below item. We connect that to the link text. And then description, the link rather, right under title, is connected to link URL. So link to link URL. And then description goes to HTML code right here under HTML11. You can scroll down. And the last thing we have to do is publication date. Right here, pub date connects to pub date text. So pub date text right here. Okay, I'll scroll up so you can kind of see that. Okay, that's it. That's a good view right there. And then click save. Save and return. Okay, it says great, we're done. The last thing we have to do according to the instructions is to invoke the service. So switch back to design view and open the events tab. If your events tab isn't already open, you just click on thing near the bottom. And we want the service to be invoked on page load. So select start screen for the component. In this case it's we changed the name so it's Lifehacker RSS. And for the event, select load. Let's see what other options we have. I think we'll just try load. I'm not sure because we're working with multiple pages, so we'll follow the instructions. Load. And for actions, like invoke service. And it should be REST service 1, the one that we created earlier. Okay, click save. And then it says, now the last thing we do is create a custom CSS style. I'm just going to save it again here. Okay, so to add a custom, I'm going to minimize this. Add a CSS style. We go to project view right here and select create new and then CSS. We can leave the default name as CSS1, and then what we have to do is paste the following code. So I'll just click create, and to get the code we go to the instructions, scroll down to adding CSS style, and I'm just going to copy and paste this code. Control C or copy, and then go back to here, then Control V paste. So that's going to give some of the formatting or the style to our sheet. Okay, and then click save. Okay, test to open the app in the browser. Before we do this though, what we have to do is hook up the page. So we should go to our home page. And what we need to do is click on the second item because this is our second project. And we want to leave the defaults in, and we can change them later. I'm going to change the text to assignment 2. And then you can choose whatever name you want. I'm going to name mine Lifehacker RSS. app. And the list item, I'm going to call it list. Actually, I'm going to call it assignment or item. Just to keep it similar to this one, I'm going to call it item, ITM, assignment 2. And then I just have to create an event. So click on here and see how it's selected. You can also change it over here. We have item assignment 2, so this list item, when you click the event, it's going to navigate to page, and the page will be the Lifehacker RSS page. And I'll leave the transition effect and other defaults default save. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we need to set up a back button. So we can go back to our Lifehacker RSS page. I'm going to close this one. Right here. Okay, so now we go to pages. And what we want to do is create a home button or a back button. So to do this, we drag and drop a button into the header, similar to how we did for the other assignment in the other video. I'm going to change the text to home and select the icon of the home. These defaults are okay, and I'm going to name it BTN for button. I'm going to call it home A2 because this is for assignment 2, just to keep it different. Okay, keep the defaults and select events. So since it's already selected, it shows as button home A2. Then we want the event to be click. The action is going to be navigate to page. And the page is going to be home page. And the other defaults. Okay, we click save. Okay, that should be it. I'm going to test the app. I'm going to pause the video, test the app, and if it works, then I don't have to troubleshoot. Okay, please bear with me one moment. Okay, so it works. So once you've done that, we've hooked up the button and made the app. All you do is click test after you save test. And go to mobile preview. As you can see, we have the different assignments. We click on the one we just created, assignment 2. And it takes a little while to load. As you can see, here's our app, our Lifehacker RSS app, the feed. And in order to get back, we click the home button that we created and it takes us back to our page. Great, so we're done with this assignment 2. I look forward to working on the next assignment and making a video to present to you. Thank you very much for tuning in.